So one of the things is, people don't understand that how yoga can benefit athletes. So I'm not talking about only golfer, but generally an athlete. Because sports people, think they are themselves very fit or relatively fit, and they want to look at yoga more as as something to improve themselves instead of the spiritual part. So everyone today, especially a youngsters, not looking at developing spiritually or wanting to be closer to God, or to go to a higher plane. They are looking at yoga as something that will help them perform. So what do you have to say about that?
First of all, thank you so much for having me over. It is my pleasure to be sharing, screen space with you, being interviewed by you, and are you asking all these questions? I know that I am teaching you, you are my student, and we talk about all these things all the time. But having all those kids as audience today, I want to just say that for sports, I think sports people usually have a lot of students and learners, and yoga also requires a lot of discipline. For example, any yogi, they need to bring in a lot of Vedic style and Vedic rituals, I would say, and things that would bring in a lot of discipline in their life. Now, why yoga is important for a sports person perspective? Because it will bring in the stability and the balance and the focus that a sports person usually requires in his game. Let's just say I take your example. It's been like just 3-4 months that we have been practicing yoga, but I see a lot of stability in your asanas. This shows that your endurance has built, right? Your endurance. Then I see you're a right hand golfer. So your left side seems to be very stiff. Hence, it is providing flexibility also, balancing all the internal systems of your body. Plus, your core strength is enhanced. Your major thing is your breathing. The efficiency that we need to bring in a sports person to to play the game, and the focus, that is what yoga enhances. Basically, I would not say yoga works on the physicality part. Yes, it does, but it works on the mental level also. For a sports person, I think stress is one of the biggest things, because there are times when the person is actually stressful about playing the tournaments, about representing the state, or at times representing a country. So a lot of stress is there. Just to calm down those stress levels, just to balance your parasympathetic system, just to have the happy hormones release, I think yoga is beneficial for that aspect, I would say. So it balances your mental state, and it brings in and betters a lot of alignment in your posture, focus, strength, and all those aspects. So for a student, I would say, for a first person, I think this calming down and bringing in acceptance of maybe losing a game at times, and accepting the lose the lost game with a lot of respect and grace. That is what yoga teaches and bring in. So that is what I feel.
Okay, so there's one more question. We talk a lot about discipline with youngsters, and we all know that being disciplined is one of the ways one can be mentally tough. You don't feel like getting up at 6 in the morning. You still get up and do whatever you have to do. So how important is discipline in yoga, considering that I have heard people say that you should be practicing at the same time of the day, try and pick the same place. So what is your take on this question?
There is nothing as such. There is nothing as such. You can practice any time of the day. Usually we prefer morning sunrises and sunsets, basically. And morning time is preferred. Why? Because it is the start of the day. You should actually start with opening your joints and your body. And yoga doesn't just work on your physicality, it works on your internal organs also. The flexibility it brings in your spine, the massages that it provides to your internal organs, the expansion of your chest so that you can breathe in properly, inhale and exhale properly. So there are so many factors involved, but I don't think so that there is, specific timings should be there, and it should be practiced at a particular place also. They say all these things, but then we can do without all these things also, because we are in a state where we are living in a very fast-paced environment, technology-loaded environment. I don't think so. It is mandatory to maintain those rules. But having said that, yes, if you practice every morning, especially in the mornings, and with a having a disciplined, way of practices, that brings in a lot of advancements in your journey, I would say.
Okay, so one very important question: what's the difference between yoga and stretching? So you find gymnasts are also very flexible, and today, on Facebook or Instagram, everyone is putting up poses which 99.9% of the people can't do. So it's more like people showing off, doing gymnastics, or doing some poses which a normal human being can't do. So what is the difference between these kind of different poses and different ways people, a gymnast can be as flexible as a yogi, so what is the difference between the two?
So, you know what, Indrajit ji, I really, really, really feel sad about your education system, because they are the ones who are responsible for not providing the right education to our, people, our young minds. So people think only asanas are yoga. No. The stretching is yoga. No. The PT is yoga. No. Promoting a fashion line, wearing good class of clothes and everything, that is not yoga. And doing contortion is not yoga. Yoga is an art, it's a philosophy, it's a sacred wisdom. हमारे it's one of the जो सांख्य दर्शन है उसमें से one of the philosophies के अंदर ये आता है, yoga आता है. And there are different types of yoga. I would not get into the details like bhakti yoga, gyan yoga, raj yoga. A lot of yoga paths are there, but the one that we are talking about, hatha yoga, at the moment, is there are 8 limbs of yoga. It talks about yama, it talks about niyam. So these are the self-discipline, and talk about the social discipline, attributes basically in a person. Then comes the stage of asanas, wherein people are taught to be physically strong. मतलब उनको किसी asanas में they need to be stable, siddhi lana जिसको बोलते हैं. You need to be pro at your physicality, that you are able to sit for longer durations during your next level. That next level is pranayama. So pranayama, then matlab yoga is all about taking you from your annamaya kosha to your anandamaya kosha. There are 5 sheets to your souls basically. And I don't think so regular people who are doing stretching and all those things, they understand the relevance and the importance, because they have not studied yoga in depth. They all think that stretching and doing contortions and bending and splitting and handstand, basically there's a trend of handstand these days, that aapne handstand kar liya, they feel aapko yoga aa gaya, that he's a very advanced practitioner. No. Yoga means if you are able to hold one asana for maybe an hour, that is, if you're able to sit in padmasana for an hour, that is when you are doing yoga, without moving. You have achieved sukham sthiram asanam. That is yoga. So I don't believe in all these jazziness, fanciness, which youngsters are bringing in, and the contortionists and the athletes. Everybody, like for example, a lot of dance forms, a lot of martial arts. All these have their they do warm-ups basically of basic stretching, and they are all inspired from the yoga poses. Okay? But yoga, the difference between both of them is that yoga involves breath work, which people doing stretching, they don't feel like doing breath work, right? If you ask somebody, youngsters, they will just stretch their legs and their glutes and their hamstrings, but they would not involve their breath work. So the major difference between both of them is the inhale and the exhale. The dynamic movements have to be coordinated with your breath.
Right. Okay. So if I was a 10-year-old boy who was asking you a question, just simple question where I'm sitting and trying to touch my toes, right? So my PT teacher is teaching me how to touch my toes, and my yoga teacher is teaching me how to touch my toes. What's the difference?
PT teacher will push him, will scream at him, do it, do it, do it, you can do it, do it, do it. While a yoga teacher will help him in extending his spine. She will tell him how to breathe, because I have a 9-year-old at my place. I ask him to touch his toes. When he is not able to do it, I hold his hands very gently and I only ask him to close his eyes and breathe. And he does that just 3 rounds, and then I make him make his hands touch his toes, and he gets amazed and he gets a very beautiful smile. He's like, "Hua, touch ho gaya, touch ho gaya." It exactly happens. So he's able to touch his toes when he's involving his breath in his movements, and it's not boring.
Right. So this is a question from, I think, more of the elders. Does yoga help you lose weight?
That's a very, very, very cliched question. I remember a lot of women. Basically, they pick up yoga because they think that they will be able to lose weight. So no, my question is no. Yoga is not a weight loss program. If you really have to lose your weight, you can join some VLCC, or there are a lot of fitness platforms these days, Cult Fit and stuff, where they will make you do 50 burpees or 500 squats or make you run 10 kilometers. That is when you're doing cardio and you are losing weight by cutting down your calories. But in yoga, yoga works here on your mental level. I would say weight loss is a byproduct of yoga, but yoga works here on your mental state. It tries to calms down your senses. All the 5 senses are in your control. Your mind is on your control. Your breath work is in your control. You are more aware and you're more conscious. When you are conscious that you know that this food is not good for you. When you are conscious, you know that you have to get up early and then you have to practice your yoga. You have to go for a run. So you start taking better decisions, and better decisions about your life, your health, your career, your studies. That is what yoga does to you. It helps you in bringing a balance in your mental state. No stress, always calm, a lot of happy hormones being released. So that is what yoga does. And eventually, when you keep on practicing, and that is when you lose your weight. It's a slow process, but eventually you cut loose from your right proportions of your body.
Right. So, see, this has always been a problem with our academy, and I've seen children across the country. Whenever we talk about doing yoga, especially with children, they all start, but there is some kind of allergy for children towards yoga, and most of them find it boring because yoga at its purest form really won't appeal to a 11, 12-year-old child, and unless the teacher makes it interesting. Or so how would you tell people, or parents, to get their children into yoga? What are the things that you could do to make children like yoga? Obviously, traditional yoga, no child wants. Even my kids, even my daughter wouldn't want to do yoga. So how do you get children to do yoga?
So first of all, coming to this thing that children find it boring. So yes, their concentration span is very less. They cannot really focus on one particular thing for longer, especially when one thing involves you to close your eyes and take deep breaths. Definitely they will get bored. But at the same time, I would also say that kids find maths also boring. They find going to their social science or any boring family gatherings also, they find it boring. So, but parents force them to go to school. Teachers force them to teach maths, to study maths. They force them to sit in the exams, and when they fail in maths, they are reprimanded badly. They are punished badly. So I would say it is the duty and the responsibility of the parents, first of all, and second, our education system, to bring in yoga and make it mandatory. Once they experience the blissfulness, I'm sure they would like it. And yes, The traditional pure form of yoga is boring. I understand from kids' perspective. I have 2 kids at home. So what I do is I try to make it interesting by, there is a form of kids yoga, if you may know, and wherein the sequences are designed in a way um, which is making them enjoy yoga basically. And I do make my kids do a lot of partner yoga, like they both stand face to face each other, and the kind of asanas then I make them do, they are holding and supporting each other. The simple asanas like tree pose, they find it very interesting when they are asked to balance on one leg. So these are the certain things which I have taken. And also the classes and the duration of the sessions for kids, it should not be more than 30 minutes, because they have a very less concentration span, and within 30 minutes only 10 asanas done are fine. For example, there are certain asanas which help in releasing the growth hormones, which is beneficial for the kids' height, basically. So I include those asanas. I include interesting asanas like balancing asanas. Then kids are very flexible. They are very, very, very flexible. Back bends are beautiful. If you'll ask them to do a bhujangasana, a purna bhujangasana, they will easily be able to touch their heads on their toes, like a back, when you do a backflip or something. So that is what allures kids, that yes, I am able to do this. This is a very tough asana, this is an advanced asana, and hence I'm able to do it. So I see my 9-year-old performing a lot of difficult asanas which I am not able to do it at this moment, because he is highly flexible. So that's what. Then chakrasana. People and kids especially love chakrasana. They love making a wheel. That is what they have been taught in the dance classes also. Because just to have flexibility, and stability and focus and clarity in your thoughts and everything, it will help you not in just your sports. It will help you in your dance and a lot of other academics also, and a lot of other fields of various fields of sports, I would say.
Right.
Yeah, I talk only from my experiences, nothing crammed up, I'm saying.
Okay, so this is a question which I'm sure everybody asks, and today
A kids yoga for the academy kids also, the students that are there. And then you can see for yourself how interesting I make it and how much they would love it.
great. So now I'll come to a question which obviously is the most serious topic in the world. With the pandemic and people getting affected so badly with COVID, and everybody's recommending different kinds of ways to fight it. At what level, so 3 things, I'm asking you a question because this lot of, especially the older people, would appreciate is, one is what kind of yoga one needs to do, very briefly, but what kind of yoga one needs to do to help you not get COVID. If somebody's got a mild attack of COVID, what they should do, and recovery, what they should do. So 3 parts of the question. Obviously, you have to go to a doctor and do whatever that needs to be done. But just from a yoga terms, what are the things that builds your immunity before, if you've got a mild attack, what can you do only on yoga terms?
Very, very important question. So let me just split the answer in 3 sections. First is a person who has not been affected with COVID. So for that person, I would say they should continue practicing the asanas. They can do any 5 to 10 asanas just to, especially the chest openers, the heart openers that are there, right? These asanas, because just below the chest bone, we have a thymus gland. Thymus gland is the one which is responsible for, taking care of the antibodies. It builds the antibodies there. So, बच्चों के अंदर the thymus gland is of a bigger size, but as soon as you grow, your thymus gland keeps on shrinking. So that is when we were more prone to this virus. The adults and the older people were more prone to this virus, and it did not harm kids at all. So that is number 1. So we should do a lot of heart openers. Number 1. Number 2, what we can do is we can practice Jal Niti. Jal Niti is one of the Shat Karma techniques wherein it keeps your nasal passage clean, so that you can avoid, cold or sinuses or any mucus secretions or blockages that are there in your nose. It is to be done with a Jal Niti pot, which is easily available on Amazon or anything, but it is to be done under a practitioner, a Vedic Hatha Yoga teacher. You cannot just open a YouTube channel and just start following the instructions. No, you need to be under guidance for that. These two things I would say. And apart from that, pranayama. As much, I would not say as much, but yes, 15-20 minutes of pranayama in the morning and in the evening, I would definitely suggest to everybody. Everybody, they should do basic pranayama techniques of deep breathing, like Nadi Shodhan or a Bhastrika or a Kapal Bhati. These things should be done by everybody. That is for the people who can avoid the COVID. Now, people who have been affected with mild, COVID. So I think I was the one who got affected with mild COVID. It came, and for the first 4 days, I was just lying on the bed. I was too weak to do. But fifth day onwards, I would say I did not, miss even a single class of mine. I teach yoga. So online group classes, I would take the subtle asanas. There are like sukshma vyam, jisko bola jata hai, wherein you move very gently. You move all your joints, for example, your neck, your shoulders, all these. Just move. Movement is medicine, they say. So gentle movements, and plus thoda bahut, you can lie down in couple of asanas with the help of your pillows and stuff, just to open your chest. For example, Supta Baddha Konasana is very important. It lets you have a deep yogic breathing. It involves all the parts of the breathing, be it the clavicular, the thoracic, and the abdominal. It opens basically your chest. So that is why what we're doing is we are activating our thymus gland. So let the person activate the thymus gland to its full capacity. Then take a lot of steam. I think steam helped me a lot. It just melted down the entire mucus which was being built up there. So steam, then simple subtle asanas, and then third is again pranayama. If you are suffering from COVID, I would suggest you to do Brahmari. Brahmari has been proven to be effective in COVID. Brahmari is a kind of pranayam where you produce a humming bee sound. You just close in all your senses, and then you chant Om, or you just make a sound of a humming bee. So this has been proven that it helps. I would not say that you should not take the regular medicines prescribed by the doctor. Yes, definitely take them. But like I stopped eating medicines after 4th day. After 5th day, I was totally relied on the steam and the pranayama and subtle asanas. These three things I was doing. Now, a person who is badly affected, I think for that person, there are a lot of small things which were, I'm sure, the doctors would have suggested that they have to lie down in supine position and they have to breathe. So a deep breathing is the only thing that I would suggest, because my dad was COVID positive and his condition was critical. His oxygen level dropped down to 75 and then 65 also one day. So for him, the only thing I would suggest him, and I made him do, was a lot of Om chanting and Brahmari. And sorry, Brahmari, no Brahmari. He wasn't able to do the Bhastrika, because Bhastrika would put a lot of efforts in your, lot of strain in your lungs. Do not do strenuous pranayama exercises. Only resort to Nadi Shodhan, very simple, very gently, and deep breaths. That's it. You can just keep your hand like this, and take deep breaths. Absorb your breath deeply and let your chest expand. The expansion of the chest is very important, and you have to sit straight all the time. Do not hunch. Do not collapse your lungs. Just keep it open. Keep your back straight. So these were the two things which I made sure my dad do every morning and every evening: the Nadi Shodhan and the deep breaths. These two are the only things. The deep sectional breathing, basically, mostly the thoracic breathing and the clavicular breathing. I hope I answered your question, sir.
Yeah, right. So also, anyone who has any questions, you may type it in the chat box, and we will try and ask Pooja ji to
Somebody
answer
has,
those questions.
Rana ji has, I
Uh,
believe in God, so I want to be close to God. Yes, this is the route to enlightenment. This is the route to where you actually realize that there is God within. Because when we are practicing yoga, I keep on telling Indrajit, just to clear your mind, just stop thinking anything. There should be nothing in your mind. Just go into no mind state, and there should be a thoughtlessness there. So I am not asking him to go blank. I'm asking him to make space within yourself to realize that there is some higher consciousness which is present within. So yoga is all about, so yoga ka matlab hota hai union. It is inspired from a Sanskrit word which is yuj, which means union. Union of what? Now union of basically uh, the nature with the purusha. You say like the nature with the soul, right? That is the union which is happening. In Tantra, they say the union of Shiva and Shakti, because Shakti is the energy which is rising in your body, and Shiva is the higher consciousness which lies here. So the union of Shiva and Shakti. In Hatha Yoga, it says the union of Ida and Pingla. Ida and Pingla are the nadis which are flowing inside our body. So one is responsible for the lunar energy, one is for the solar energy. So we are trying to bring a balance between the two. In Taoism, they say the balance between the yin and yang. And in physics, as Swami Vivekananda ji was having conversations with Mr. Tesla, and they were on the verge of proving this thing back then, before Vivekananda ji died, that it is all about matter and energy. That is what there is. So once you, oh my God, okay, I can see a lot of questions. So
I'll ask you the questions.
okay, okay.
So we will just the first one is what are the yoga asanas which are good for golf? I think
Golf?
there are a lot of golfers here, so for golf.
Okay. I would not say for golf, to be honest, because I would say, see, you cannot specify yoga. Like, for example, there are a lot of things I see on YouTube: 5 asanas to lose weight, 5 asanas for hair loss, 5 asanas for, what not. All those things are there. No, don't do that. I can share a sequence with Indrajit ji. He can teach you guys, or maybe I can take a session where I'll just ask you to perform 10 asanas, which is for your overall well-being, for your mental state and for your physical state. And that would help you bring in a lot of focus and concentration. You tell me, sir, what top things you think a sports person should have? He should have a focus and a concentration on his game. So yoga would provide that. The 10 asanas that I'm going to teach would provide that. Then I think there is a lot of strength should be required, right? In your body, in your legs, basically. So I will teach you those asanas like Veerbhadra asanas, all the series of standing asanas. Basically, they're providing a lot of strength in your thighs and your legs. Then is your core strength. I can teach you a lot of asanas which is responsible for your core strength. Then is flexibility. There are asanas which enhances your flexibility. And then last, sir, give me one last thing which a sports person should have: calmness. I will provide you such asanas which will make abundance release of happy hormones, and it should not have इतना सा भी stress नहीं आएगा, इतना सा भी stress नहीं आएगा. थोड़ा सा आना चाहिए, but बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं आएगा. You would be graciously accepting your defeat like a warrior, and you would want to work on yourself more, and you want to be better than yourself. You should be having competition within you, not with somebody else. That is what yoga would teach you, to accept everybody.
Okay, so there's a question that during the lockdown, how to do yoga? Can I do it online? Are you available? So we will share Pooja ji's email ID with everybody, And
Fine,
those who are
handle.
interested in.
Can just DM me, and my team will reach out to you, and we'll share the. And I think I should arrange. What do you say, Indrajit ji? I should arrange a session for all the people today, and let's teach them, few asanas where they can, just follow, and you
Sure,
can
we can
record
set
a
up
session.
something. That'll be really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few more questions, because I don't want anyone to go back without having their questions answered. There's a question: I have asthma, so how do I? But it's from a 10-year-old boy.
Asthma.
Lesser, yeah. So I'll before you say, I just wanted to add. I had asthma, and that was one of the reasons why I started yoga, and it literally cured me. I mean, I haven't really needed my puffs for a long time, touch wood on that, but yoga does wonders. So Pooja ji, maybe you can just, I don't want you to kind of give asanas and all here, because I don't want some people coming and saying, oh, I'm getting solutions here, but you can just talk a little bit about how yoga helps asthma.
I'll be very brief. I'll tell you. See, asthma happens to be one of the respiratory disorders. Okay. Now, to make your respiratory system, we have a defined formula, which is known as pranayama. Okay. Pranayama are the breathing techniques that will cure your asthma. But for pranayama to perform, you need to be equipped with the asana stage. Okay. For the asana stage, you need to be disciplined. So you first bring in self-discipline, then you practice asanas, and once you are able to bring stability in your asanas, then you can easily move into pranayama. And then by practicing pranayama every day, trust me, it can make you hooked. Now, like kids are hooked to PS4 and PS5 these days. PS5 is out, right? So they're hooked to that. So I'm telling you, pranayama will make you hooked, and it will do wonders to your practice, and it will heal all your disorders. I can give you in writing. Pranayama can heal everything, even cancer.
Okay, so the next question is, you've already answered. So anger issue can also be cured. How many Surya Namaskars is advisable? I am currently practicing 21 Surya Namaskar.
Kitna?
21. Somebody said that I practiced 21. How many is advisable?
Okay, can you please ask them, the 21 Surya Namaskars are done in how much of time? Like, does she take like 1 hour? Like 40 minutes, 45 minutes? How much time does she take, or he takes? So,
okay, one question. There's another question. What do we need to do to reach the no mind state? And how long will it take?
Are kids asking these questions? I'm so amazed.
No. They're adults also. Like I mentioned to you, it's mainly the golfing community, but there are adults as well. So it's not only kids.
The previous question. So I perform Surya Namaskar just once. Okay. जब आपके घर पे कोई आता है, तो आप उसको एक ही बार प्रणाम करते हो ना, एक ही बार नमस्ते बोलते हो. You don't feel like namaste, namaste, namaste 21 times तक नमस्ते नहीं बोलते हो. So when the Lord Surya comes, Surya Namaskar is basically a salutation where we are bowing down to the sun, the supreme, the ultimate source of energy, the ultimate source of existence. We know that there is a higher consciousness, a super intelligent system who has designed this whole cosmos. But the only proof that we have, the only proof that we can see with our own eyes is the sun. So Sanatan Dharma mein, yoga mein, in all the major religions of the world, Surya is worshipped, right? So when we are bowing down to Surya, we are saluting Surya. हम Surya Namaskar करते हैं, तो एक ही बार करते हैं. लेकिन when I do Surya Namaskar, एक ही बार ऐसे करना है कि दिल से निकले, आपकी सोल से निकले वो सूर्य नमस्कार. So I do only once, and I'm able to finish my one Surya Namaskar in 20 minutes, because I stay in every asana for good 1 minute. There are about 12 steps in Surya Namaskar. 6 asanas are there. It involves the entering and the going out in every asana. So 6 asanas multiplied by 2 is 12 steps. One entire step is done by left side and one entire step is done by right side. So two sides make one Surya Namaskar. So I perform this entire sequence in 20 minutes. So I think after 20 minutes, my entire body is rejuvenated. And I think Lord Surya is also very happy receiving only one Surya Namaskar from me. Okay. Next question, which the somebody asked.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Somebody
There's
asked.
one question: how to increase height with yoga?
Okay. See, there are, now I have to go into scientific and the anatomical aspect of it. So yoga works on your nervous system. Okay. Nervous system में क्या आता है यहाँ पे? There is pituitary gland. That is the master gland basically. It releases lot of hormones. Okay. Now there are other glands also which are present in the body. So the hormones, I would say, since the yoga activates both the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, so uske andar kya hota hai? Glands are able to function fully. Now these glands release various hormones. One of the hormones is growth hormone. Since अगर हम योगा कर रहे हैं, अपने नर्वस सिस्टम को एक्टिवेट कर रहे हैं, ग्लैंड्स भी अच्छे से फंक्शन कर रहे हैं, ग्लैंड्स अच्छे से फंक्शन करते हुए हॉर्मोन्स भी रिलीज कर रहे हैं प्रॉपर्ली, जितना अमाउंट में उनको रिलीज करना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जांपल, ग्रोथ हार्मोन इज रिलीज टिल द एज ऑफ 20, 18-20 टाइम 21 ऑल्सो बियॉन्ड चला जाता है, तो आपका हाइट नेचुरली बढ़ेगा. So you have to practice certain asanas, like for example, asana, they say it really helps in height. Then there is Tadasana. Various forms of Tadasanas are there. Urdhva Kartala Tadasana is one of them. Then Uttita Hasta Trikonasana is another. So these are the basic asanas. I can give you a list. वही मैं आपको 5 आसन दे दूंगी. But it doesn't work that. You have to do yoga holistically. You have to do a lot of other asanas also. So even if you are a 10-year-old and you are doing 10 basic asanas, it is good. It is good for you. बट देन धीरे धीरे आपका इंटरेस्ट आ जाएगा और आसन्स करने में, आपकी बॉडी और अच्छे से ओपन हो जाएगी. देन यू कैन इंक्लूड मोर आसनास, मे बी 12 आसनास और 15 आसनास, एंड देन इट विल वर्क ऑन योर ओवरऑल फिजिकलिटी एंड फिजियोलॉजी. ठीक है, so that is when it helps in your release of everything, even your, you know, when you attain puberty, the facial hair and everything. So every hormone, it will be released in its optimum quantity.
Right. Okay, so this is a very important question. Somebody's asked it also, but I'll put it in my way so that it makes it simpler. We talk about meditation, right? And every time we close our eyes and we sit in meditation or try to meditate, 20 different thoughts comes to our mind. And, you know, it's virtually impossible for a regular human being, whether it's a youngster or an adult, to sit quietly and just think of nothing, or trying to focus on one thing, and you have, you know, many thoughts coming into your mind. So the question has two parts. What is meditation, and what do you do when you have thoughts coming to your mind, and how much meditation should you do? I'm not talking about someone who's looking for God. I'm talking about someone who's wanting to be able to focus on his day-to-day activities. I'm talking about someone who wants to lead a normal life, and or maybe who's a sports person and who can't concentrate, or they get distracted. So keep that in mind, and not the higher self.
Understood. So how do you want me to answer this for? Because I have answer for kids also, and I have answer for the adults also. So for both of them, you want, because I see my kids doing this, they practice. So I can
I think the kids work for the adults better.
So yes, I have a very simple and basic exercise for kids also. Let me tell you for the both. So let me tell you the answer for the adults first. So meditation is not the right word to begin with. Okay, we are far, like, you know, really far away, maybe eons away from meditation. What we can do at the moment is dhyan. Okay, dhyan is ekagrata. Ekagrata is concentration. Concentration when you bring your entire consciousness on one point. That one point could be in the center of your brows, which is very difficult because I tried doing it, I could not do it. Then there is concentration on a color, on maybe your Anahata chakra, on your chest, then there is concentration on your you can think, people follow various religions, so they follow different deities, so they can think of a deity, log Shiv ji ke bare mein ya koi bhi Bhagwan ji, koi bhi God, they think of their God, the deities, they think of color, they think of a memory, they can think of anything. So in fact, even on your breath, okay? So you have to bring your entire consciousness only on one single point. I agree with you completely when they say when you sit in a dhyan avastha, so a lot of thoughts would come. So allow your mind to settle down. ठीक है, जब आप सोने भी जाते हो, you don't fall on your bed and sleep instantly. No, it takes you about 5-10 minutes to adjust, to adapt yourself, to ask your mind to shut down and let you sleep. In the same way, when you're sitting in dhyan, it will take you about 5-10 minutes, at time 15 minutes, to bring yourself into a calm state, to shut down all the things. Now, how do you shut down all those thoughts? A very simple way is to be a seer. You relax and you see the thoughts coming and going, coming and going, coming and going, and you just be a watcher. Enjoy the movie of your life. Enjoy what is bothering you. Just do not get attached to those emotions. Do not react in your mind. Just be a watcher and see how are they coming and how are they going. You can imagine yourself sitting on a platform, and the train of memories is just going by in slow motion, or maybe a fast train is coming by. But do not board that train. Sit and relax and watch and be a seer and chill. After a while, that train will slow down and you will be bored of your thoughts. You will be really bored. You will be like, bar, same thoughts are same. It's so boring. Your life is so boring. You would feel like, not concentrating there. So then try to pick up your favorite memory. Like I have a beautiful memory of solo traveling in Sri Lanka back in the days. And I was being, there was a dog who came by and sat by me, and I was just sitting on the beach watching. That is my most beautiful memory. I started practicing with that. So I would concentrate on that memory. I would remember the sound of the waves. I would remember the water touching my feet. I would remember the sand beneath my soles. So all those things now, I would just literally immerse myself in a happy memory. And I would just, dheere dheere kya hoga, all those unwanted thoughts would get sidelined. And even if you're able to concentrate on one happy memory for a minute, that means आपने ध्यान कर लिया, आपने concentration बना लिया, आपकी एकाग्रता आ गई उस एक particular चीज पे, ठीक है? So that is one way. Other way is when you bring consciousness on your breath. So all you have to do is just take deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And while doing this, you count your breaths. If you're able to do 10 breaths, that means you are able to concentrate for 2 minutes. Because एक average इंसान 15 to 16 times, breathe करता है in a minute. When I asked you to take a deep breath, I remember you were able to take 4 to 5 breaths once we did this exercise. I am able to do 3 or 4 breaths. So just count. जितना आप काउंट करोगे धीरे धीरे ये जो ड्यूरेशन है 1 minute से 2 minutes होगा, 2 से 3, 4, 5, and that is how you keep on expanding your dhyan duration. And that is what we call meditation in today's fancy world. ठीक है, this is not meditation. This is just dhyan. And for the kids, what kids can do, what I taught my kids, my niece and nephew basically. So I started off with Om chanting. A mantra chanting is the best way to start your dhyan, because Om is such a powerful word. It is followed by Buddhism, Jainism. There are so many other religions, and especially I see foreigners also, and I see my Muslim friends also. They are also chanting Om, and I love it. They love it when they chant Oms. It brings a lot of peace and calmness, and they are able to concentrate also. Just do it for maybe just 10 Om chants, and that's it. And you will feel eventually calm from within. But it has to be with an erect spine. You cannot hunch like this. You have to sit like this with the shoulders drawn out, rolled back, chest out, spine straight, chin up, and you can place your hands in chin mudra. When chin mudra is when you gently place your fingers over your thumb and all the fingers are pointing down to the mother earth. You kind of draw energy from the earth and you complete the circuit and the energies are flowing in your body. Okay? And you gently close your eyes and you chant Om. Let me show you how we can do the Om chanting just once. Okay? You have to concentrate on the extension of the ma part. Om बनता है अ, ओ और म से. तो म जो है उसको आपको extend करना है. ठीक है? Let me show you how we can do. You sit, girls to take left toe in and right toe out, right? And boys to take right toe in and left out. So since I am a girl, I am going to put it like this. Chin mudra, gently place your hands, no stretch. If you extend your arms, you might feel tension in your hands and you might feel pain in a while. Just relax your hands, shoulders drawn back, chest out, breathe. Om. Om. Once you're done with Om, you rub your palms, generate the heat, and gently place the hands over your eyes to let the warmth penetrate deep in your eyes. And then very gently open your eyes. I hope
Thank you.
hope it wasn't boring.
No, it wasn't. So, before we end, we just want to ask you to say something to all the young athletes, who are attending this talk. Some message to them. And also, if you can just talk a little bit about the group sessions that you do. And obviously, whoever's interested in joining your session, so we will share your details, your email ID or how to contact you. But if you just have your message for all the youngsters.
Okay, just my Instagram handle is Shiv SHIV _ Yogini, Shiv Yogini. My name is Pooja. You can find me there on Instagram. And just DM me and I will be responding, or my team will be responding to you. And I conduct group classes, online classes in the morning, every day. Sorry, not on the weekends, every weekday, 7 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. And where we do the Hatha Yoga, Asanas, we do Om chanting, we do Pranayama, we do active relaxation and everything. And I also conduct private sessions for some disorders. For example, young girls are coming up lately with PCOD, issues, and people have thyroid issues. So I am providing them separate sessions also for yoga therapy. Now, apart from that, I really don't know what to say to the young people. It's just that I recently had a talk with another institute, educational platform only, and I feel sad. Why? Because those students are intelligent. They are studying in one of the finest institutions of India, of the world, renowned in the world, and it's just that they have no clue of what yoga is, what benefits of yoga are, and why young should inculcate as a lifestyle. Life. So, so we have to know. Once I took them through the entire journey, how important Sanatana Dharma is. It's not a religion, it's a lifestyle. It's misquoted as a Sanatana Dharma, it says Dharma, but it is a lifestyle, not a religion. And in that lifestyle, there are a lot of Vedic Like for example, one thing that I would like all the youngsters and to have it, have a sync in their circadian rhythm, the natural body clock, the natural. So they should get up and they should. When I see the youngsters, the college people, have it all reversed. They should awake the entire night and keep during the day, serve their body clock, and they're always sulking, they're always depressed, they are never happy, they're always glued on their phones. So, I feel that the youngsters need them basically. Like to tell you to everybody to correct your body with them. And either. If you really want to study anything, if you really want to practice something, do that in Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta is the early morning hours from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. I would not say to get up at 3 a.m., but yes, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the time where it can and you can do your practice, you can study. Anything which is done during Brahma Muhurta will benefit and you never. I'm saying about my meditation journey. I used to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. By 6 a.m., I was done. In 3 hours, I was done with my meditation, with my dhyan, with my, dhyan, my pranayama, my asanas, everything. And my studies also. I used to study always. Okay? Study is always important. Never stop studying. Always keep on enhancing your skill set. Always keep on enhancing your game. Game is not about just playing on the yoga is not about asana. So I live yoga. Even if while talking to you, I am conscious, aware of my breath. I'm conscious of my spine and not like back hunch like this, sitting like this, sitting on a block, keeping my spine in my right side. You guys, these things
I think we may be losing you.
will bring your
Sripanna, is it okay?
No, sir. Ma'am's voice is at times getting just like paused.
I think you're breaking up, Pooja ji. You're breaking up.
Am I not?
Your internet.
You're audible
Yeah, we
at
kind of
times, ma'am.
losing you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Read the chats.
I think someone is unmuted around you, or is there a sound on Pooja
No,
ji
I'm
around you?
perfectly fine.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll be ending the session now. Thank you so much for coming out here and giving us your time. We will be sharing her details with whoever is interested in connecting with her. Thank you so much for your time, Pooja ji.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Indrajit. Means a lot. Thank you for giving me this. And thank you everybody for being such a nice audience and asking so many questions. I would request Indrajit ji to have me over because I really want to have a session with the young minds.
We'll definitely set something up with you.
Sure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Namaste.
Bye.